Hey, what are you listening to?
You want me to introduce myself? My name is Alex. I recently graduated from the University of Michigan, starting pharmacy school in the fall. Check out more on TheMedicaZone.
I asked you what song you were listening to?
Stick season, Noah Khan.
What inspired you to pursue a career in healthcare?
Honestly, thinking back to growing up, a lot of my childhood I was in and out of the dentist because I was born without my 2 adult teeth. And originally I actually wanted to be a dentist, and then when I got to college I started taking the biology classes, chemistry, microbiome, orgo, and I actually enjoyed them. And so then I was connected with a career healthcare college advisor, and we started talking about different opportunities, and through that it really resonated with me that healthcare was a passion of mine. And then we started exploring other options. Do I want to go to med school? Do I want to go to pharmacy, veterinary, dentistry? And ultimately I landed on pharmacy just because of the different opportunities that it would allow for me to do with the career where I see myself in the future.
Describe your undergraduate experience. What classes did you take? What challenges did you face?
So going into undergrad or even college in general was almost unheard of from the community I grew up in. I attended a school that most students went to community college and then dropped out from there or would just enter right into the workforce. For me, I actually started as a student athlete and went off to Florida. So I'm from Michigan, started in Southwest Florida at Ave Maria University, and entering, I was a student athlete, and that experience taught me a lot of adversity.
Can you talk about the experience of going to a public university versus private university?
So private university, at least for me, felt almost like a glorified high school in the sense that I saw the same people every day. I had a class size of on average 20, but as small as 5. Mm-hmm. The benefits of it, I could walk into a tutoring center any time of the day, and there was no sign-up sheet. It was just I entered and I received the support I needed. Same with office hours with professors. Most classes were taught by professors, not necessarily teaching assistants, who are graduate students at larger universities that pre-doctoral candidates. But when I transferred to Michigan, it's an R1 school, a research institution, so they have so much funding at that university for professors to conduct research. With that, there's a lot of opportunities to become involved. However, at the same time, it was almost like I had to sign up earlier for office hours or attending office hours. It was no longer just one-on-one with a professor. There was probably 20 students in the classes I was attending, or I attended. So that was a large difference I noticed personally between a public and private. But at the end of the day, both have their benefits and cons. It's ultimately what's the best fit for you.
What was it like being a pre-med major and a student athlete at college?
So being both a student athlete and pre-med major, the benefits, my schedule was kind of planned out for me, and I had first pick on classes. So I always knew the prerequisites that I was taking, I would be in those classes. The other benefit is also part of a student athlete and being a pre-health student, you have to hit community service hours, you have to do these work experiences. So the benefit of an athlete, that was built into the football program, where we'd do different soup catch-ins, we would host community events, and in a way that instilled professionalism in me as far as representing the university in the same way that any healthcare represents the healthcare community, and wearing the white coat kind of thing. As far as challenges, with the schedule being as tight as it was, I didn't always have the opportunity to explore work experiences early on as far as research, mm-hmm. because I also had meetings for football during that time when it was scheduled. So that was something that I did face earlier on in college.
Okay, sounds good. Can you describe some of the classes you took? Were any of them particularly challenging? Were any pretty easy? Or just what was your experience with classes?
So being on the pre-health track, I went into a science major, biology, which first semester I took bio 2, physical chemistry, organic chemistry. But then I started it was really focused to hit the prereq requirements for medical school. So then I also took physics. I would say the challenging class wasn't necessarily a particular class, but really just adjusting to the rigor of college. For me, coming from a school that only had 4 AP classes, I didn't have AP Chem, didn't have AP Bio. So in a lot of ways, that study habits I had in high school had to be adjusted and almost relearn how to learn in a sense. And that support came from going to office hours, seeking out tutoring, and yeah.
Describe your educational background and any challenges or setbacks you faced.
So I grew up in Muskegon, Michigan, and I attended a high school where it was really uncommon to pursue a 4-year degree. I ended up going to college largely due to a sports scholarship, and I played football down in Southwest Florida at Ave Maria University. And through that experience, even being on the team, I still was surrounded by a lot of people who weren't there to pursue pre-health, and I felt like that was missing in a way. So I transferred to the University of Michigan in Ann Arbor uniquely during COVID, which was a major challenge and sort of a setback transferring during that period of time. But ultimately it did teach me a lot of different lessons that made me who I am today.